to begin the Ubuntu Touch Q&A?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Here we go. Start streaming. Now see, this is the thing now. I click the start streaming button, and then I just talk nonsense for a little bit so that we make sure that the stream is actually online. This is exactly how it works.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it actually started a little bit before, so we got me whispering in there.
I told you, we're live before we're live. Hello, guys.
Hello.
This is the part of the show that will get cut out by Wayne this time. This is the super secret special part for YouTube audience.
So if you can hear this, you are a special person.
It
Yes.
wasn't caught out last time, by the way.
I know it wasn't.
Yeah.
Well,
So
that was a
2 weeks
mistake.
ago, you weren't special, and now you are.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Put that in your journal.
Yeah. A resume.
All right. Notify all members. No, do not. And now,
Is anyone doing the thing?
I got the
Send
news channel.
links? Okay.
Okay, here we go. Let's do this.
Twitter.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Ubuntu Touch Q&A, the UBports Foundation show discussing the development of Ubuntu Touch and our community's questions. This is episode 60, streamed live on October 5th, 2019. My name is Dalton, and joining me this week are Marius,
Hey.
Florian,
Hi.
Jan,
Hello.
and our specialist of special guests, Alfred.
Hello.
He's the real hero here. So everyone, it's episode 60. This is a long way coming. Where did Marius go? If you watched all 60 Q&As back to back, you'd have probably about 60 hours of content. I actually didn't count. We could be on your screen for 60 hours talking about Ubuntu Touch. We are not responsible for any medical issues you sustain having done this, though. Today, we're going to talk about the OTA11 feature freeze, updates to Telegram, installer, the Pine phone. We're going to go into the porting corner with Alfred and talk about some upcoming events. And, of course, we have your excellent and perfect questions to talk about. So let's start, shall we? Let's head everything up with the feature freeze for OTA11. And I am totally prepared. I'm telling you this now. So, it has been 8 weeks now of development of Ubuntu Touch OTA11, and we're working on merging a lot of things that happened during the OTA 10 cycle, and even before that, getting all of those in to the image. So you're going to see things like small fixes for the Qt Quick to Suru style, of course. We have removed the dependency of the notification client on Ubuntu 1, so you no longer need to sign in with Ubuntu 1 in order to get notifications. Thank you, Florian and Rodney.
And to be clear, it's not in OTA 10 as many people thought, so there was a little bit of confusion, including myself. When I was asked, I was thinking we had this already, so yeah, it's not in there. Ubuntu
No, it's
1,
not
you
yet.
still
If
need
you
it on
install stable today, you don't have it. But if you
Yes,
install
yeah.
RC or Devil, you don't have to sign in anymore.
Yeah, so that's good to make this clear. And soon this will be for everyone.
Joanne has been working a lot on making the operating system all fit together properly. This week she told me, or he told me, I'm sorry, I did that again, that he will go down and remembered as the one that fixed button colors.
We should get him
That's
a
not
plague.
true, Joanne, by the way. It's not true. I'm
I
telling you
don't
this
know
again.
a cyber sheep. And we should also give. Do you have the keyboard on your list, by the way?
Yes, the
Okay.
I don't know how to pronounce his pseudonym, so Kugi.
Kui.
I doubt it. Has made some changes to the keyboard that allow you to navigate more easily and select text more easily. Some people say that it is the most natural way to select text on a phone that they have ever used. Whether that's true for you or not is up to you. But I trust them. There's also copy-paste functions that are really nice. And just a lot of other types of paper cut and nice-to-have changes. Like Jan fixing the user label on tablets, for example. So now the
That's a major
label
one.
that says who you are actually doesn't slide off the screen.
Well,
Very
sometimes
important.
small things are very important also. It just
Yes.
looks more finished.
It was only an issue on the tablets though, so most people probably didn't even recognize it or realize that it was a problem, but it was really annoying if you saw it.
Yes. Good work, Jan. And thank you to everyone who has contributed to this cycle. We have at least that's actually a much higher number than I thought. 6 people who made their first contribution to Ubuntu Touch in this cycle. So thank you to everyone who's been working on it. You're making Ubuntu Touch better for everyone. Praise you. Praise you. Speaking of updates, Florian, would you like to talk about an update to Telegram?
Which is more or less an AKA teleports, of course.
Yeah, right. Sorry.
But yeah, it's maybe a good idea to talk also about the old Telegram app, because I hear from a lot of people that are still using the old app for various reasons, and we're trying to really get on feature parity with teleports. We're pushing this quite hard. So there was a 0.5 release some weeks ago, and 0.6 is already nearly in the same pace of the OTAs, already on the horizon. So we'll have the contact list in 0.6, and that's a really, really huge feature, because then the first time you can see all your contacts, you can add and delete contacts, and you can start chats with contacts that have no chat in your chat list. And you can start also secret chats, and that's really nice. Yeah? So the contact list will, what was necessary, and you needed to use either the web app or the old Telegram app if you wanted to operate something with your contacts. And we're trying to get this done so that more and more people can switch over. One thing that it will probably not make into 0.6 is sticker sending. It was top voted. Oh. It was top rated on our poll that we cannot send stickers in teleports now. But the reason for that is it's a huge work of UI things. So while the work on the back end is not that much, but you have to think about how it opens the window, how you scroll through the sticker packs, how you select stickers. And then Telegram added tons of options, including animated stickers, for which we don't even have support in the TeleLib now, so we cannot provide them anyway. So stickers are not in the next release. But I think it will be another nice one. We have also sharing improved now. That means you can finally share multiple files at once. You can select them in the gallery. You can share 2 teleports. You couldn't do this before because the Content Hub was not marked, or it was not marked in Content Hub as receiving application, and so on and so on. Yeah, and lots of small things. Progress indicator for up and downloading of attachments. That's also very nice. I'm an impatient guy. So finally, you can see that you only managed to transfer 0.1% in 1 minute. And I got already feedback. Thanks, Rodney. I should remove the decimals because it doesn't make sense, but okay.
Good point.
Yeah, I think that's it for the moment. So expect it it's ready when it's ready, but maybe, let's say 2 weeks or so. It should be good.
But
Okay, so in 2 weeks, got
aren't the testing images already available, or is it just for special
we
people?
We don't have merged anything we don't have merged everything into master branch now. So you have only test builds with features that are based on the last release. But as soon as we will combine everything together, there will be then test releases, and I will announce it as usual in the Q&A channel, QA channel. And hand it out to people in the community to see what's the feedback. So far, I think it's quite great already.
Very cool.
Well, speaking of things in the QA channel, Jan, What have you been up to?
If you remember, 2 weeks ago, I talked about the installer and I promised that there were some interesting things in the pipeline there. And some of those things are coming together now.
You didn't need a sock.
Yeah, no sock for me, thanks. Yeah, we actually just today merged a PR that touched 5,000 lines and changed so much, and just gets a lot of the blockers for the things we want to do in the future out of the way, and also does really great things for stability and user experience, in my opinion. So we really polished the progress bars and so on. So that is the things that you see, but under the hood are the real changes. So we moved all the ADB and fastboot wrappers into a new library, which is also automatically tested on all operating systems that we support with the installer. So we don't just break Windows paths or something again in the future. So that mistakes like that should be automatically detected in the future. There are still some issues we are fixing. So actually, Alfred just before we started the show told me he found one, but it's getting there. So this release should be ready, I guess, in 2 days or something. And we also have some other super secret stuff in the pipeline that we will probably be talking about in 2 weeks.
It's not very secret if you're committing it all to a public GitHub repo.
Well, yeah, but it also does a lot, so it is not pushed yet, so it's all.
And not
so it
everybody
is secret.
understands
It actually is secret, yeah.
Ooh, secrets.
And it's
I have
gonna
no
be
idea what
really
he's talking
exciting.
about, by the
So
way.
you can already start hyperventilating, and then in 2 weeks you
On second thought, don't do that.
yeah, okay, don't do that. But it's okay to be excited.
Yes. Excellent.
Speaking-
More excellent news this week. Thank you, Jan. We're talking about... Oh, wow, you have it right there. What is that, Marius? What is that device? Might that
This-
be...
This is the Pine phone. It's running. Ubuntu Touch. And it doesn't.
It's 7:18 p.m.
I can't see.
The time
I-
zone.
Forget how to use Ubuntu Touch.
well, it's backwards.
Just enter your password here, okay?
Whoops.
Power
Oh.
off.
Smash the
Okay.
power button while we're at it. It works.
And it's
So Marius posted a video of this on his Twitter, twitter.com/@Mar. He's Mario Grip on Twitter. So he had pictures of it running, and then a video of it running, and then another video of it running after he optimized some things. So that is all up over there if you want to see that. In case you aren't watching the video version, that is the terminal.
That's the
It is
terminal.
Pine Phone, it says.
Pine phone, and it's
Yes.
You
Linux.
cannot read
and a
this.
phone.
Ah, yeah, a little bit.
It's not focusing.
You have to
It's
squeeze
not-
your
So-
eyes together. What?
So just to also get a little bit more excited, this is actually running the OpenStack Lemma, which is open source backwards engineer. What's that called?
Reverse engineered Mali
Reverse-
driver for the Mali 400 series of graphics processors
Yeah.
and earlier.
So that's actually quite amazing how well it performs. I know some people are saying, "Oh, it's not performing that well." On talking to you,
Twitter.
r/Linux. No, r/Linux. so to be open source drivers and so immature as Lemma still is, this
To be
is
fair, the project has been going for a really long time, but it feels like it just kind of slapped
Well-
into high gear in the past few
Well,
weeks with projects like this coming out.
well, that's also a little bit unfair to the Lemma project, even though it's been there for a while. it hasn't got development that long, because it's recently where the development really has exploded. So even though it is a long time since they started, it doesn't always have this momentum in development.
Yeah, that's a better way to say it.
And it is a real phone. Look at this.
And it's
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
So what he holds in his hands is the early developer batch, where we're going through to find any issues in the molding or PCB process. They're still working on getting the antenna designs fixed up. So this isn't exactly the final product, but it's pretty close. And these are what will be shipping out to people starting soon, the 100 or so kind of units that they're making. Whereas they will be having Braveheart batches starting throughout the rest of the year that you can purchase to get your own devices. And then next year, we'll be seeing devices shipping with an operating system. The Braveheart batches will ship with no operating system installed. So look out next year for batches that are shipping with pre-installed Ubuntu Touch, Plasma Mobile, Postmarket OS, whatever it may be. Basically, whatever's ready for the batches.
But one thing I can say, that the outside will look like this.
Yeah. But they're looking at somewhere to put the Pine 64 logo.
Yeah. And maybe there will be a Yumi back here.
Mm-hmm. Maybe. We'll have to see.
Maybe. Yeah.
Okay. So thank you to Pine 64 for sending those our way. Was there anything else in that box that you got, Marius? Or did yours ship out too early for that?
Mine shipped too early for that.
Okay, that remains a secret for next time then. But yeah, huge thank you to you guys. You're doing some awesome work for us.
Yes.
Okay. Well, speaking of new and interesting and exciting devices, Alfred, let's go into the porting corner, play some smooth jazz / elevator music, and talk a little bit about Halium.
Right. I guess we should start with Ratchanan's adventures in GStreamer land, because he has been working on making GStreamer droids, a component by Yola, a reality. And he has been fixing a few issues that were happening. For example, what used to happen is that taking photos with flash enabled would hang the device, or at least the camera, and that's been fixed now. So there are, it seems like there's good progress coming along in this regard. So hats off again to Ratchanan for his work that he's been doing. Next up would be Halium libhybris changes that we have made. They are now merged upstream. So we're finally having all those camera compatibility layer and all those little issues that we fixed. They are now upstream in the libhybris project. Thanks again to everyone who has been working on that. Next up then is my personal favorite device, because it's my device. The Sony Xperia X. Because I have it. Exactly. What we've been working on with the Sony Xperia X is fix a few issues on the system image building side of things, like, for example, supporting the sparse images that are generated as part of the Halium 7.1 build process. They're now supported by the UBports system builder stuff. And we also now have a UBports Ubuntu Touch compatible recovery for Halium 7.1. So the Android 7.1 devices are now able to install a full system from the cache partition, as long as your cache partition is large enough to hold the OTA updates. But
it tells me you know a little bit about this situation.
Yeah, exactly. I had to deal with a few hacks on the Xperia X to make this happen, but it's working now. And as a result of all of this, the Sony Xperia X is now built and maintained as a community port on UBports. So we finally have new community device, not on the horizon, but actually as a reality. So it's already installable. And there's one caveat: it does not have the system does not have the audio call support built in yet, so it's not going to be in OTA 11. But you can install using the UBports -QA command. You can install the necessary changes that are required to get audio and calls working. So,
But how do I get it on my device in the first place?
you mean the system to
Yeah.
install it? There is the Ubuntu device flash tool, which is also built on UBports CI. So you have to download this, and you can install the device from the command line for now.
Yes, not yet in the installer.
In the
Exactly.
installer, hopefully in 2 weeks.
Maybe.
But
Let's see.
I might.
Don't leak it.
Jan, you're murdering
Don't
yourselves with the
leak it.
deadlines.
I might be murdering myself, but I'm really surprised how much we got done in the last 2 weeks. So
This bet is
I am
sock free,
optimistic.
everyone. No sock
I am.
on this one.
I would like
okay.
to see someone else eat a sock now that everyone believe in me. I
I
will
didn't
not
eat a
believe in
sock.
you guys.
Also, someone else coming up with crazy deadlines and not just you.
We're going to have it tomorrow.
Yes.
Guys, you're your own worst enemy.
Pretty
Who
accurate.
needs free time?
So, for people asking in the chat, Linux Debian, yes, new devices are on the horizon. Beginning of the Lion King movie begins in the background. Okay, that was a bad reference. Jan, would you like to talk about an upcoming event? Speaking of movie, no. Would you like to talk about an upcoming event?
Yeah, the reason why I won't make the 2 weeks deadline is that I'm at UBCon Europe next week. So
Yay.
that is in Sintra in Portugal, and I'm really looking forward to it, meeting all the cool European Ubuntu people. Well, not just European, there are some Americans there as well, and probably more, and many people. Yeah, it's going to be really cool. So we are going to have a small UBports booth, not the big one, because Portugal is in Portugal, and that is pretty far away from where the booth is. So we're just going to have a table, but there's going to be like 6 or 7 Ubuntu Touch specific talks and workshops and lightning talks there. So it's going to be very interesting, I think, for you guys. So if you are in Portugal, go to Sintra next week. It's going to be really cool.
I have only the utmost of expectations for you, Jan. All right? You're the booth
Okay.
babe now. Nope, still not good. Still doesn't
Also-
sound good.
If you are in Portugal, you can feed Jan socks in person.
Yeah. Well, no, actually you can't, because it's next week, and I said in 2 weeks. So
Yeah.
I'm
Whoa.
safe there.
Well, you can still feed him socks.
With or without the deadline.
Or you
Yes.
have to follow me home, but don't follow me home.
He lives in Germany. It's not that big.
But we are actually we are actually going to have a workshop where we are going to work on the UBports installer. So you can come there and help me that I don't have to eat a sock, and you will
Yeah.
get to see the super secret features before they are released. So, well, I don't know if I will be able to keep it a secret that long, but that is for them to see.
I'm gonna oust all of your secrets, Jan. All of them.
Great.
Okay. Well, with all of that out of the way, let's take a moment to thank the people who make this and all of Ubuntu Touch possible. Thank you to our sponsors, including our infrastructure sponsors, Packet.net, DigitalOcean, Smooze, and I forgot what the last one is. I'm sorry.
Private internet access.
Private internet access. Yes. This is why I need to have the list open. I can't do it from memory anymore.
It's too much.
And
Stop giving us money. We can't
No,
remember
please.
you.
I'm sorry. This is going to go down in history as episode 60, the one where Dalton made all the mistakes and no one liked him. And also thank you to our community sponsors, including George Toma, Darko Balka, Thoralf San, Laurentine Tilleman, Milan Iliv, Scott Marley, Renar Mirkolev, Morgan McMillan, Sergio Svetsov, and Yogesh Patad. If you'd like me to mispronounce your name as well, you can head over to UBports, patreon.com/UBports, and select the community sponsor level. If you'd like to donate another way, including LibraPay, PayPal directly, or Bitcoin, if you're still hanging on to your Bitcoin, you can head over to ubports.com/donate to get all of those.
The Bitcoin will go up.
And again, just because I am making mistakes saying your name or remembering it does not mean I am not thankful. I'm sorry. And thank you.
We are all extremely thankful for any donations.
Okay.
If you want Dalton to not remember your name, please donate to us on Patreon.
Okay, that got really sad.
Don't hodl. Give us your Bitcoin. Give it all.
Can we go to some questions now, guys? This is a train wreck.
It's all your fault, Dalton.
Yes, it is. So we take these questions every single show from our forum at forums.ubports.com. The post appears in the news section, and it just has the title of the Q&A. It's made by UBports under the UBports news account, which is run very nicely by Nigel. So, first this week, we have a question from Christatos. How is the development of the Bluesy upgrade going on? On the GitHub project page, there is no status change. I checked, it is actually empty. It'd be nice if I could use the hands-free in my new car. It's Florian back.
I'm gonna take this one. Yeah, I'm sorry, I was just dropping off for some reason. Trains glitch on my internet, but luckily I'm back now. Well, to be honest, there is not much moving on the Bluetooth thingy at the moment. Mostly because most of the people are super busy, and we are having just resource issues with that. So you can try to install this branch. Currently, I did try this. I tested a little bit with that upgraded Blues thing, and I don't see any problems, but also not much improvement. So we have to dig further what's actually going on with these car kit thingies. So my suspicion is that because this is more or less upstream, we facing the thing that even Blues on the upstream distros, like in 1804 or so, would struggle with car kits. Not only this is not a problem of the phone; it's actually a problem of how this is integrated. Especially because we also need dependencies updated, like Pulse Audio and maybe even something else, which we are going to do at some point, but it's just a really, really huge lot of work to get everything into line. Saying that, I'm still hoping that we find some time at the end of the year maybe to come forward with that. Yeah, so that's the point. If anybody wants to contribute to testing, of course, everybody's welcome. There are some instructions in the forum. I can push the thread upwards a little bit, maybe in our Q&A section or so. So would be nice to see. And if there is anybody brave enough to take his laptop into his car and try to pair his laptop with the car kit, could work. Maybe not, but would be interesting to see if there is anything working. I don't know. We have to be a little bit experimental with that.
Yeah, Canonical did make a lot of contributions to all those projects while they were in charge of the thing. And some of those compatibilities have been removed, but later reintroduced. So we're in this middle state where 1604 doesn't have the features and then newer things do. So as we continue to upgrade different components, we will probably see some more improvements there. Jan, it's your turn.
Yes, I had to switch windows. I'm sorry. Do not multitask. Yes, Gizmo Chicken asks on the forums, I believe, does
Yes.
the Edge channel of Ubuntu Touch still rely on the Mere Client API? If so, what are the largest hurdles to fully removing the reliance on the Mere Client API and moving fully to Wayland?
Just to give a little bit of context, the Mere Client API is deprecated inside of Mere and must be enabled with a runtime option right now. Everything should be moving to Wayland and Wayland extensions. Okay, now
So,
you can start.
a quick thing on that. This runs fully on Wayland. The Pine phone right now runs fully on Wayland. All the apps that you saw was actually running on Wayland, and no Mere client at all. On Edge currently on the Halium or Android-based devices, are still running Mere client, and do need some changes to actually be moved to Wayland. There is some work going on that I did a while back on the Mere platform API, the Mere Android platform plugin for Mere to enable Wayland on that, but that has not been merged into to Edge at all yet. We plan to do this after the big update, and maybe postpone it a little bit because there's no hurry for us currently to move over, as we are maintaining it ourselves. But it will be removed in the near future, yes. And for users, this will be not a noticeable change. This will be transparent for everyone.
Well, probably performance increase, right?
Well, yeah, it will improve performance. Startup times is a lot faster on apps. Switching between apps is a lot smoother. So yeah.
Yeah. Good.
Mm-hmm.
Marius.
Azure.
Sure.
In an interview, Dalton mentioned that Click package are the ancestor of Snap. Does it mean we should move to Snap at some point?
Okay, this is one of those discussions that's going to get a flame war, so let's avoid that. I did say in my interview with Wayne on the last Ubuntu Touch audio cast, need to get the words right. Otherwise, Wayne gets
Podcast.
upset at me. No, audio cast.
Podcast.
We did kind of get into how clicks are, in some ways, the ancestors of snaps. So to clarify that a bit, it's more that the snap packaging format took the lessons that Canonical learned from creating clicks. It's not necessarily that they took clicks and then made them into snaps. So it was an ancestor in the way that lessons were learned and mistakes were made. As for whether we'll move on at some point, we can see that we need to move on to something, of course, because clicks are no longer maintained by anyone but us. But as for what exactly it's going to be, it's still up in the air. Okay, so I hope that answers your question, ours. Or however that's pronounced, I'm sorry. Alfred, what do we have up next?
Okay, Die Hard Dan asks the question, is there any plan to improve the satellite lock on time?
So yeah.
So this is it's a hard question because many of these are hardware dependent stuff. We have older devices and some of those are really slow on the satellite point.
First
It
off,
also
satellite
depends-
being global positioning system type deal.
GPS, yeah.
Yep.
So it also depends on where you are, how many satellites there actually are, how good signal you actually have to those satellites. So there's a lot of factors playing in here. But in my recent test with Location D, this is definitely improved. They seem to have improved the logic inside the location D itself. But the lock-in time still will depend on the actual hardware and your actual location. What makes Android so fast is in the initial point, it doesn't use GPS at all. It uses AGPS, which is triangulated with position of cell towers. So it have the position of cell towers and triangulate how far you are from those. Math, basically. So yeah, this is it's a bit of a tricky one. We hope to get it better, but it's not sure if we can. What we can do is use AGPS, which is a fantastic technology actually, and that is enabled on Location D and should be a lot better. Location D is basically a major improvements.
Yeah. And as we say, whenever this comes up, it does depend on the setup of your device. For example, the Qualcomm devices, at least if I use them here in the US, if I have a SIM card installed, we'll get an initial GPS lock much faster than if they don't, because they download that information from the cell network before they start to find satellites. So it does depend on how your setup is running too.
Yeah,
But for the most point, in situations where you have poor connectivity or otherwise poor results, it's going to take longer.
Mario, since you mentioned Location D, maybe we should say when we are going to start working on that.
So Location D is something we will start working after Edge. Once Edge is out, we will have time to fix a lot of this, and this is where Location D and Bluetooth and these hard paper cuts, or more like scissor cuts, comes along, and we can fix all these more bigger issues, or not really issues, but bugs.
Yeah.
Which are issues.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome.
Okay.
Giba asks on the forum as well. I am curious about the status of hardware graphics acceleration for current supported phones. My limited understanding is that this is not a simple issue, so I am wondering if this is something we will ever see on current devices, like the OnePlus One, the Nexus 5, as it will need to wait for more open hardware, i.e. plain phone.
So this is also a bit of a split question, because we are using a lot of hardware acceleration already. Most part actually is hardware accelerated. If you use your video player, for example, the video is actually hardware accelerated. The point where it's not, which I guess where he is coming from, is the browser. The browser is currently not hardware accelerated. This will most likely come with Wayland, but also I know Alfred has been hacking along with this. So
Yeah. Well, it's still going to take a while until we can take a look at it, because we're still having issues building the thing. So, yeah. We have to jump over that hurdle first. Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. Alfred, would you like to take the next one on?
So,
Big block of ping.
let's see. I have to find the note again. So Richard Rubin asks, is it possible to build Forge to run on UBports?
yes, so technically this is possible.
TM.
TM.
Asterix.
So one thing we need to consider is that we are running Xenial, which is an older version, and we don't have the newer GTK stuff that they require. But in theory, yes, you can build it and run it on Ubuntu Touch. But you will not have any of the hot Android stuff, since Posh is made basically as their own compositor runs on top of Mesa.
At that point, it isn't really Ubuntu Touch anymore. It's just Ubuntu, and you put some stuff on it.
Yeah.
You touched
so
it.
It's a bit. Yeah. So technically, yes, it's possible, but it won't run on any of the devices. It will run on the Pine phone and the Libra 5, but it won't run on anything else that's Android or devices. Of course, you can make it run, but that's a lot of work. I also wouldn't recommend running GTK on a phone since Qt utilizes GPU a lot more, so it will be rather slow, especially on our older hardware. So, yeah.
So, the asterisk is yes, but it's not Ubuntu Touch. So,
Well, what is Ubuntu Touch is with Unity 8 and stuff, so if you remove Unity 8, it's just Ubuntu. So, yeah, you are correct. But
yeah. Juju1 asks, I just noticed a fork of some of your apps and Halium on a Planet Computers repository. Planet Computers being the company that creates the Gemini PDA, among other interesting devices. Are we expecting a port for the Cosmo Communicator or the Gemini PDA? I'm sorry, when you say Cosmo Communicator, it has to come from the heart.
so
we?
I know that Notkit has been working on this, but I'm not sure. I haven't seen that myself, and I don't know actually. I know there is a port already by him, and it's working really well. But I don't know.
So it kind of
You have
depends
to
on
ask
who has the top of the
Nikia.
commit log, who's working on it right now.
Yeah,
That'd be interesting to know.
it's not an official. It's a community project by that. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
So, Ben Clark 06 asked, will you be waiting until 2021 until I guess he means 2004 comes out, or are you working on it right now?
this
Well-
is something that we've been discussing lately. So we will not rebase on 1804 because that's going to be old very soon. But what we're looking at here is 1910 comes out in, that's a week and a half.
Oh yeah.
So Ubuntu 1910 will come out, and then that starts the Ubuntu 2004 cycle, which will be a long-term support release. At that time, it's time to start moving off of 1604 and getting the preparations in place to move up to the next.
We are not gonna let another 1504 happen. That's for sure. We do not want the pain that we had back in the day again.
The suffering.
It was
So
terrible.
So the plan is to at least get stuff working as soon as possible, but moving to it is not determined at all.
Yep, have to see how it works out. And it will be a big change with requiring us to move to System D and some other big changes that are going to call a lot of things into question, including hardware support, and we're just going to have to tackle through them. So,
yeah. We need to see how it goes and see how devices play with it. We know Canonical did some of the devices make them run, but some not, and we have to see how much work it actually is to get some of the devices, because this requires some kernel changes. So it's all up to questions, but we hope to get as many devices up there as possible.
But it actually comes at a nice point in time now that we are almost done with Edge, so that frees up some resources, and the 2004 cycle starts. So that is actually pretty nice how that worked out.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ooh, if I may interrupt, we have some breaking news, everyone. Deco 0.2.1 was just released. Deco 2 0.2.1 was released.
Right. I saw the QA call for that, but I didn't test it. I'm sorry.
Thank you so much, guys.
Terrible person, Jan.
Yeah. I mean, Deco still needs some love, but it's really a major step forward that we have now maintainers and people interested in hacking into it, and they continue to work on it. Big effort, huge code base, super smart guys. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's really cool.
this release adds support for inline images, removes some unimplemented UI elements, which would just say unimplemented when you clicked on them, minus add to context and folder detection. It fixes some issues with handling the trash on some accounts, and basically makes the UI just easier to move through. Also, some updated translations for German, Hebrew, and Lithuanian. So, thank you to you guys. You're awesome. And you didn't. If you do this during the QA again, you can PM me. We're really lucky that we saw that. Okay.
Next
Florian.
one. Is there any plan to integrate OrbTK from the Redux team? What is OrbTK? Never heard that.
So this is the desktop environment that Redux OS uses, which is completely not based on Linux or anything. So probably not is the asked question to this. I'm not sure if that works on Linux at all. And yeah.
Modern
So actually,
Flutter, React, and
only-
Redux like API.
I only copied half of the question. I'm sorry. The new release seems to mention UBports support. We don't know, but
Yes, this just came up. I
plus-
am doing the
Does
looks
it?
as we speak.
So yeah, it is an API, but I thought it only worked on. Oh, it seems to work on Linux. Oh.
Oh, it appears to be
Oh.
a reboot of the Redux of the, yeah. And I do believe, yes, the Rust UI toolkit. Okay, I saw this in the forum where they were talking about getting this built correctly for Ubuntu Touch. So yes, if you want to help out with that project, they are in the forum's OS section, I believe. Let me see that again.
Oh, this is cool.
Yeah, it's Rust. That makes it even cooler.
I didn't know.
Not sure that's true, but let's see. Yeah.
Rust is
So
cool,
the desktop
Florian.
environment is called
Okay, guys.
the desktop environment is called Orbit.all, not Orbit.tk. Okay. My bad.
Find the
There
right
we
paper first. I think a proper answer would be we don't know because we just didn't know if they have any support, and somebody could take a look at it. I don't know if there is any way, but
Yes, it is in the app development section. I found it here. Let's send that in live chat. Yeah,
It
it's a
has
small
planet-
update about
planet
it
features.
in a Reddit post.
cool.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes, very nice.
Ooh.
And Marius has a new rabbit hole to go down this week.
And that's when development stopped.
Ubuntu Touch Ground 12. Question. Up next. No one's assigned to read this one, so I'll read it. Good? Okay. Vincent asks, is Ubuntu Touch for the Librem 5 coming? There it is.
So currently it is working on the dev kit, but we don't have any devices. We are trying to get some, but we currently haven't been assigned any. So I'm not sure how that will work out. And as they change the CPU on that, it will be hard for us to actually make it run on it without a device. So currently we are waiting for the phone, but on the dev kit it works fine. But there's not much you can do with the dev kit other than make it run. So yeah, but most part actually work. Wi-Fi works and
Stay tuned on
Colvin
that. We
works,
are
actually.
in communication. So
Yeah.
talk about it next time. Yeah. And
Yep.
Far L asks, Fairphone 3?
Question mark.
Question mark.
The answer is yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. Affirmative.
Affirmative. So I guess his question is, will Ubuntu Touch support Fairphone 3? And the question is, we don't know currently. Of course, if someone ports it, it will have support, but there's no official push just yet. We don't have a device. So this is a to be continued question.
Sweet.
And of course, we need support for Android 9, probably, right?
Yeah.
In our porting
So that
with
also-
Halium, so it would be something for Halium 9.
Oh, that's a great number. We
Yes.
should have skipped it and gone to 10. But that would require... that would be funny. Okay. Anyone see anything else between live chat and other live chat and the other live chat?
Just that people are laughing at me on Mastodon about my deadlines. But that's okay.
I
That's
I
a
saw
good
one
idea.
here. Is Ubuntu Touch the future of mobile from IBNE? This is a question for
It's
everyone.
the present of mobile, everyone.
Yes.
And
So
the future.
let's all say it in parallel. Let's say the answer. One.
I believe in iOS.
Yes.
The moment when Jan left the audio.
Can we kick Jan?
No. No, because then you'd have to make a new scene, and we can't do that. We're almost finished.
Right, that's the reason.
But the serious answer is, it depends. Do you want it? If you want it, it's the future for you. If I want it, it's the future for me. If someone doesn't want it, it's not the future for them. So it's not the future of mobile. It's more future of your mobile experience.
That's super deep, man.
Yes.
But I guess that is actually a really good answer, because we do want to give you freedom of choice, right? So it shouldn't just be that you have to buy this phone and because you need that app. You should have a choice, and that's what we're doing. And are we doing well? I think that's pretty obvious. Yeah, it's going well.
Yeah.
Well, thank you everyone for watching this episode of the Ubuntu Touch Q&A or listening. We have a very large listening audience. We don't forget about you. You are awesome people. But you didn't get to hear the special part at the start of this episode. So,
Not
you
that
know,
special.
video version, especially the live version, is pretty great. You get all of the mistakes all of the time. But this fun continues, including me making more mistakes. You can find us on Twitter, Mastodon, Pixelfed, Instagram, or LinkedIn if you feel like being social. All those links are down in the video description. You can also chat with us on Telegram or Matrix at UBports on Telegram, and a similar one on Matrix. Both those are still in the description. Or you can join us at forums.ubports.com for longer form content, including a place where you can ask questions to get into this show, and you go to the front of the line. Marius, where can people find you throughout the week?
They can find me on twitter.com/margrip and on Telegram.
Florian.
Oh, that question again. It's so complicated. Short answer. Twitter.com. It's at LenoxMage with an underscore in the middle. And nobody will be able to repeat that on his computer, but doesn't matter. Look
Alfred,
for UBports and blah.
Thank you for joining us. It's been great as always. Where can people find you?
You can find me on GitHub, Telegram, and Twitter with the handle fredl.me. That's FREDLDOTME. And if you want to get in contact, just do it.
And Jan, where can everyone find you?
Twitter.com/Neo
On the moon.
And I am
Say
at
again, please.
Universal Superbox without any of the E's on Twitter. And with E's on Telegram. I'd also like to thank our production team, I'm calling them that now, including Lionel for writing up this show summary that appears on the UBports blog, Nigel for posting our release announcements, and Joe for getting all of this over to the UBports blog. And I'd like to thank you for joining us for this episode of the Ubuntu Touch Q&A. We will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.